Oh, what's up, guys? Today is the 1st, May 1st. It is 10, we'll say 11 actually. It's all good. And we are going to hop in where we left off yesterday, which was we were knocking out okay, I put exactly where I stopped actually, right here. Stop at line 17 and things to do. Going through to do one by one, removing ones already completed or completing tasks not yet finished. So line 17 in things to do. Okay, so we stopped here, going through one by one, removing ones already completed. Okay. So we got rid of a lot of those, and we hit a big milestone yesterday. Yesterday we actually finished Data Transfer Modification, which was a very difficult rework, a refactoring of pretty much, not like the entire project, but you know, the data transfer section of the project is the most difficult, and it is probably the most it's the most complicated, and as far as lines goes, it probably consists of about, I don't know, maybe about a half the project, like half of my entire project lines wise is the data transfer system. So yeah, we refactored the entire data transfer system, and as of yesterday we are officially done. Technically, I'm not like 100% done. I'll pretty much say I'm done though. Like, you know, I don't want to be premature about it, but I do have to debug it and make sure it's done correctly. So let's hope that we did a good job refactoring, and that we don't have to go back and refactor it again. Maybe a little bit. I'm sure there's going to be a couple bugs. There almost always are a few bugs, and we changed, like, you know, I don't know, we changed like 1,000 lines of code without testing the game one time. Maybe even more than that. We changed a lot of lines of code. We had to rework like a lot of things associated with the data transfer, so it was a huge endeavor. But I think I did a really good job. Actually, I think I finally learned my lesson as far as like taking my time, making sure I do it right the first time, double checking everything, documenting every change, and thinking everything through from a broader perspective, and not getting too hyper focused on, you know, a little detail. Anyway, so we're gonna jump in today right here. Pressing issues. Time.perf counter. Replace all instances of time.time ns with time.perf counter ns. And we don't have to replace every single instance of this, but this is actually important. So what we'll do, we'll just do time dot, and we're gonna just go through and so this is an instance where we can do time.time because it's this goes off of seconds. So like we want it to be at least 3 seconds. Time.time is fine for that. We can leave that as is. So now we're just going to go through these one by one, and we're going to make sure that they are taken care of. And all of these need to be very accurate. Okay, Okay, so this is time of crash, time.time. We'll actually do time.time NS for this. We don't need to necessarily do time, perf counter for this. It's not so important, but this is for logging, so we don't need it to be perfectly, well, actually, we might want to use perf counter for that, because just in cases where we're debugging, I don't know if this is actually really necessary, but anyway, better safe than sorry, right? So we'll go with the perf counter NS, which is the most accurate. Okay, that was it. I knew I did that. I knew there was at least one spot where I did that. Whenever, yep, I did it here too. See this double parentheses, or whatever you call it? Okay, so that's done. Okay, CL param versus data list. In DTM restructured or check, I noticed that many places we are passing a client object are to use for accessing change data lists, and teachers can we simply pass the data list instead to improve performance. Yeah, we pretty much, well, why would we pass the entire client when exactly. Yep, that's pretty much like done, but not like we didn't actually do that. We did something even better. Anyway, ensure change attribute list L tupes. I don't know what L tupes means. Ensure change attribute list entries are in the form of tuples instead of lists because they are faster. Yeah, I've done that. That's already done. Modify beginning of inside dir check. Modify the beginning section inside dir check to restore alignment with DTM changes. If dir string selections, etc. We did that already. Create client.change attribute list. Ensure we create code that creates, which is to be a direct copy of the associated standalone attribute list. Yep, we did that. Sort of. Update comment and card pie. Update all common instances of card group data since we're removing it entirely from the project. Yeah, so we don't use that anymore. Goodbye, card group data digs. I will keep that. And we may do that another time, but not right now. Basically trying to like get as many of these knocked out as I can. DTM debugging, finish DTM debugging, counter crash, choosing play cards before play cards got high, and then before they could move, because play cards had crashed. So we're basically gonna get rid of that because we're gonna have wait, what's this? Client pod 223. I noticed this refers to card data directly instead of any proper card group name string, as I would expect it to. Card data refers to the XY, so I'm suspecting there's actually a bug. Yeah, I didn't write enough to know. Like, I wrote the line number, but the line number is going to be different now. Let's just see, just in case. Maybe we'll get lucky. Card group equals eval object plus card group name. No, that's not, yeah, we're gonna remove this one. We'll have to... remove try accept lines at client pod 385. So let's go to client and look for try and accept. No results, and let's see if we have accept. None. Okay. Okay, yeah, we definitely wanted to get rid of those. I remember why. Caution comment, review caution comment at line 650. Client button. 650. Let's see. Oh, there is no such thing as line 650. Concerning object 2 arg not being passed to dir check send for other client, verify if this is properly coded. Concerning object 2 arg not being passed to dir check send for other client, verify if this is properly coded. Yeah, we removed object 2. Repeated dirt check code function. Create a function with repeated dirt check code so args make dirt checks args to reduce and improve readability. We didn't do that yet. That's talking about converting dirt check to a function. But not in the way that it was written there. Ensure current client.change list is equal to true. Change client is equal to true. Ensure that is executed. Yeah, we don't use that anymore. Awesome. Client.change client switch needs to be changed. Pretty sure that's gone. Yeah, that's gone already. Bye bye. Playthrough bugs. Yeah, the playthrough bugs are probably going to be different now. I'll keep that around though. Review all try excepts, which are not accepting game function consequential bugs that exist proper indentations. Yeah, we're going to actually redo the try excepts, so that's gone. Do we have try here? Yeah, we do have try. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we should do if name is equal to main. You've likely encountered Python's if name is equal to main idiom when reading other people's code. No wonder it's widespread. You might have even used if name is equal to main in your own scripts, but did you use it correctly? Maybe you've programmed in a C family language like Java before and you wonder whether this construct is a clumsy accessory to using a main function as an entry point. Syntactically, Python's if name is equal to main idiom is just a normal conditional block. If name is equal to main. So it's actually written like this, with the quotations around main. The indented block starting in line 2 contains all the code that Python will execute, and the conditional statement in line 1 evaluates to true. In the code example above, the specific code logic that you put in the conditional block is represented with the placeholder ellipsis. Oh, so an ellipsis is those 3 dots. I didn't know that. Ellipsis indicates that you're leaving something out. Essentially, you use 3 dots to replace the content, but the ellipsis doesn't only exist in prose. You may have seen 3 dots in Python source code. The ellipsis evaluates to Python's ellipsis. Because ellipsis is a built-in constant, you can use ellipsis or ... without importing it. Ellipsis. Wow, I didn't know that. Is ellipsis. True. Although 3 dots may look odd as Python syntax, there are situations where using can come in handy, but once you use ellipsis as a placeholder, when you can use an ellipsis interchangeably, you commonly opt for ... in your code. Similar to using 3 dots in English to omit content, you can use the ellipsis in Python as a placeholder for unwritten code. Do nothing, do nothing. When you run ellipsis example and execute do nothing, then Python runs without complaining. So if you run it, cool. There, it doesn't throw an error, there's no error. You can use ellipsis as a placeholder similar to the pass keyword. Using 3 dots creates minimal visual clutter, so it can be very convenient to replace irrelevant code when you're sharing parts of your code online. Common time when to omit code is when you work with stubs. You can think of stubs as stand-ins for real functions. Stubs come in handy when you only need a function signature but don't want to execute the code in the function body. For example, you probably want to prevent external requests when you're developing an application. So you have a Flash project where you've created your own visitor counter and custom stats that count visitor. The count visitor function is connected to a database where you track the number of visitors. To not count yourself when you test your application in debug mode, you can create a stub of count visitor. Ah, well, that's cool. I had no idea you could do that. Interesting. Because the content of count visitor doesn't matter in this case, it's a good idea to use the ellipsis in the function body. Python calls count visitor without error or unwanted side effects when you run your Flask application in debug mode. Flask app debug run serving Flask app debug mode. Only if you run Flask app then count visitor in line for to stub in line 10 using you to test your app without side effects. In unit tests because they help you test parts of your code in an isolated manner. Also, if you're familiar with type checking in Python, this talk of the ellipsis in combination with stubs may ring a bell. So going to what we're doing with type checking is MyPy. To determine the types of the standard library and third-party library definitions, MyPy uses stub files. Stub file is a file containing a skeleton of the public interface of that Python module, including classes, variables, functions, and most importantly their types. You can visit Python's type shed repository and explore the usage of in the stub files that the repository contains. When you dive deeper into the topic of static typing, you may find another use case of the ellipsis constant. In the next section, you'll learn when to use ellipsis and type hints. In the last section, you learned that you can use ellipsis as a placeholder for your stub files, including when type checking, but you can also use ellipsis and type hinting. In this section, you learn how to use ellipsis to specify a variable length tuple of homogeneous type. Substitute for a list of arguments to a callable. Type hinting is a great way to be explicit about the data types that you expect in your code, but sometimes you want to use type hints without fully restricting how your users can use the objects. For example, perhaps you want to specify a tuple that should contain only integers, but the number of integers can be arbitrary. I didn't know you could do this. I didn't know you could assign the type of a parameter like that. Calculate 1 S pixels. I don't understand why those last two don't work. I don't understand. In line 12, you just define a callable parameter action. This callable may... oh, I see. It's in and then action. Okay. With args int, you also allow a variable number of optional arguments. Okay, you define a callable type. You have to let Python know what types you'll allow as input. Okay, I understand. I mean, it's not really important, but anyway. I was curious about that. Yeah, very straightforward. I already knew all this. I'm just... maybe there's something that I don't know. Python sets the global name of a module equal to main if the Python interpreter runs your code from the top level code environment. Top level code is the first user specified Python module that starts running. It's top level because it imports all other modules that the program needs. To understand what that means, you set up a small practical example. Create a Python file, call it name main.py, add one line of code. Print name, print type name. Your new file contains only a single line of code that prints the value and type of the global name to the console. Spin up your terminal and run the Python file as a script. Python name main by is returns main and then class string. Shows you have the value of name as the Python string main if you run your file as a script. In the top level code environment, the value of name is always main. The top level code environment is often a module that you pass to the Python interpreter as a file argument, as you saw above. However, there are other options that can constitute the top level code environment. The scope of an interactive prompt, the Python module or package passed to the Python interpreter with the M option, which stands for module. Python code read by the Python interpreter from standard input. Python code passed to the Python interpreter with the C option, which stands for command. If you're curious to learn more about these options, check out the Python documentation what the top level code environment is. Yeah, I might want to learn about that later. But not right now. Anyway, moving back to this. So we're gonna do if name is equal to main, and I don't think it has to be double parentheses. I don't think it matters. I mean double quotes. I think we just do single or double. And then we want all this to we wanted to do all that only in the case that if name is equal to main. Very straightforward. Alright, done. Okay. If name is equal to main, server is equal to servers, experts code. Alright. Okay. So now let's go back to things to do. Playthrough bugs, we'll leave those. Bugs, debugs, we'll leave that as well. And then review caution comments. Review all instances of caution comments in the entire code base. Change to for all address or remove the sections completely. Other play cards invisible do last. After finally debugging, change code to make it so that for each client, the other player's cards are displayed face down instead of face up. Okay. So at this point, I don't know, I could do this one. Let me see. Let's Can I format this the same way as the line? Yeah, so we don't want to do any of this. We don't want to do any of this until we do the game testing, because remember, we don't want to change anything else until we do some testing. So let's go back to things to do, and let's look at current issue. Ensure all data is always transferred. This would be going through all the filtered doors, looking to see if each address is transferred. Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll do most of these right here in the current issue, except this. We're not gonna do this last one. We're not gonna do this one. And I think we are gonna do this. And yeah, we're gonna do these three. And then, so I'll put a space between them. And then we'll put do before game test. and all those. And then this one is going to be do after game test. After post DTM game test. And then do for post DTM game test. Yeah, so let's just go forward to the, so this is going to be the one we're going to do next. Ensure all data. Okay, so we're going to go through each file. And what just happened? Why did that happen? Okay. Accidentally clicked right there. Okay. So let's go to files. Go to card. Well, actually what I can do is we changed them to transferred adders. So let's look at all the transferred adders. And what we can do well, I already actually did that. I already know that the ones that are so we don't skeleton deck. We don't even use skeleton deck anymore. What is skeleton deck? What about prior face-up discard? Is that one that is let's see. During DTM, I noticed we use copy here, but I'm pretty sure since this references a card and not an iterable like a list, then it wouldn't be subject to later change. It is pointing to the card, not the card at index -1. It will always point to that card even if the card group is later modified. Yeah, so if we just said master deck.discard pile -1, it wouldn't be subject to change. Like it would always refer to that same card, even if you modify the discard pile later to where discard pile at index -1 was different. Because this now points to that card at -1. It's not like linked to the discard pile in any way. So we can get rid of that. Deck adder is equal to prior face-up discard. So I noticed that the setter doesn't have that logic for if it's changed from dir check, you know what I mean, to where it would be in the form of a tuple. Because isn't that the way that we do this? To where if it's changed from dir check, then it's a tuple. I'm quite certain that is indeed the way that we do this. But I noticed we don't do that here, which means I need to review all the setters to make sure that I'm doing that. Because when we receive it, right here, then we're gonna call the setter, which is gonna go here, and it's gonna circularly append it to the it's gonna circularly append that, and we don't want it to circularly append it because that's bad. So I'm gonna just put and don't we make it to where so I have to, let's put this in here real quick. ensure, I thought I did this already, but apparently not. Ensure all receive data avoids circularity. So this is going to refer to all transferred data that has a setter. Okay, yeah, so this is how we do it. We put the data and then it's a tuple, and the data is 0 at index 0, and then this change from dircheck string is going to be the at index 1. So we're right here. So yeah, we're going to want to pass in, this is going to be a tuple instead, and I'm going to paste this in. Gotta put my comma here. So it's set adder master deck, comma, prior face of discard for the name of the attribute, and then the actual value is going to be set to a tuple, which at index 0 is game.cardGroupDict at receive data 0, comma, and then the second entry in the tuple is going to be changed from dircheck. Oh, so you know, well, okay, no, I didn't. Okay, yeah, I did. I thought I already had it in the form of a tuple where I was like, oh, I started to do it and then I forgot, but no, that's not the case. Okay, anyway, so so now we just need to go to the actual setter and say if type, and then how we do this, if type of val is equal to tuple, then else if not changed from dircheck Oh yeah, if type of val is equal to tuple, then val is equal to val at 0. So if it is changed from dir check, then we make val equal to val at 0. And if not, then that means we didn't change it from dir check, which means we do want to transfer the data, so we would append it to the C1 change attribute list. Okay. So this is gonna say ensured all transferred adders that use setters. Or actually, we should just do that for all transferred adders, whether they use setters or not. I mean, we can check the setter ones first. I guess that would be easy. That use setters. Properly have the proper logic to avoid circularly sending the check received data. And then this will be the next that use direct assignment. Well, the ones that use direct assignment that don't use, well, no, some of them use setters. Okay, let me think about this for a second. There's some that use setters. They use setters, but they have a variable like well, there's a few different types. So we'll just do them in order, and we'll do it all at once. Insert all transfer adders. Have the proper logic. Have proper logic to avoid circularly sending the dir check received data. Okay, and I'm gonna take a little break and I'm gonna go get some coffee because I am really tired. I actually didn't feel sleepy, and then it just like hit me like bam, and I'm just like, man, I'm so fucking tired right now. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Fucking tired, dog. I'm just really tired. As usual. Who isn't tired? We're all tired, right? Every day, all the time. Tired. Work for EPS, and it's a word of advice, man. EPS is hard work. Might not want to work there if you don't want to work really hard. Anyway, okay, so let's jump back in. Took a little bit of a longer break. I had to like eat a snack, drink some coffee, some water on my face, cause feeling kind of dead. So where were we? We're ensuring all transferred adders have proper logic to avoid circularly sending the dir check receive data. Okay. And specifically, we noticed that with prior face-up discard, we weren't checking in the setter to see if the type of the val was equal to a tuple, which means it was changed from dir check receive. This was to avoid circular append C1 change attribute list. In that case, the val is going to be a tuple, so we're going to assign val to val at index 0, which is val at index 1 is the change from dir check string. It's not used, it's just to denote the fact that we are changing this from dir check. And then else, meaning if it's not changed from dir check, then in that case, like when we just change prior face-up discard throughout the course of the game, we in that case do want to go ahead and append the data to the C1 change attribute list. And we do use the C1 change attribute list because this is a shared attribute, a shared object. So it only needs to be, like, just think about it. Yeah, so like it's a shared object, so it only needs to be changed through one. We don't want both of the C1 and C2 to transmit this data, because then we'd be double applying data, and that would mess things up. Yeah, so anyway, I was just speaking through that in my mind to make sure I had it right, and I think I do. Alright, so cool. And let's just go double check this code in whatchamacallit. Yeah, client. Dir check. The almighty dir check. If deck adder is equal to prior face-up discard, then set adder of master deck at adder name prior face-up discard to the value which is a tuple with game card predict at receive data at 0 as the index 0, and then change from dir check at index 1, which is why we assign val to index 0 in the setter. Okay, so we're good on that one. So I think what we'll do to make this like streamlined, nice and simple, to check, because now I'm like, well, if I didn't do it for one of them, maybe I didn't do it for more than one of them. So I'm gonna just type in .setter, and we're gonna look through all the setters and make sure that we have an implementation in place that checks for a safety in place that ensures we're not circularly sending any of this data. So right here for X setter, you can see that we have, if self.change from dirt check is equal to false and car.data transfer is equal to true, only then do we append the data to the C1 change attribute list. Okay, now same thing for Y, hopefully, and it looks like it is. We have if self.change from dirt check is equal to false. Yep. Okay, and then display layer is gonna be the same thing. Prior face of discard, we just fixed that one, so we know that we're good to go here. Now game state setter has the if type of val is equal to tuple. And then assigns val equal to val at 0, else if type of val is not equal to tuple, then we get the current time append to the change attribute list, and then get the time game state. Okay, so that one's good. Round and when understanding bool type val. All right, that one's good. That one's good. All right, that one is. This one is good as well. That one is good. Okay, this is a derivative. See, I'm so glad I put these comments here because now I don't have to wonder. So yeah, we don't need to send. We don't need to put we don't need that there because we don't transfer it at all. Enter continue text active. Enter continue text active. Yep, that one's got the check in place. That one's got the check in place. That one's got the check in place. That one's got the check. Does this one? It does. What about yeah? Why do we have a change from dirt check bool? Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, that one never gets set. So there's no X used. Okay. Okay, cool, that's it. Love it, love it, love it. That was easy. Now we just have to check all the rest of them that aren't setters. And how exactly do we do that? Well, here I think we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We wanted to check and make sure that we're transferring, we want to make sure that we're transferring all the attributes. And while we're doing that, we can also make sure that they're not circularly, they're going to be circularly sent. So we'll just start up at the top. And we will... So shit. Prior card. This is the one I'm not sure about. so much code. Okay, so there we do change the prior card group name. So this is something that is so this actually this isn't taken care of correctly. It's not since we're let me read the comment on this, because it looks like I might have either okay, so that's good. And then this one says modified includes special case scenario for when round reset is called and the card are all set to none. Since this change doesn't occur inside of an append, etc., by which the prior card name would be changed derivatively, here we append the string card ID instead of the actual int. Okay, so it's saying, right, because an append is derivative, which means we don't need to. I almost did it too. I was about to do it. See how important comments are? Because that reminded me. I'm like, I'm kind of tired of not thinking straight, I guess. And I just realized that I almost just messed up here and thought that I needed to add in logic to transfer this, but as a matter of fact, this is derivative, because like, so all we do is we send an append for a card over the network, and then once that gets received on the receiving side, it appends that card, and then all of this stuff happens derivatively through this append or pop function method, whatever you want to call it, so that, what the fuck is this? No. Damn. How long? Get the fuck out of here. Okay. And this is gonna happen derivatively. This is gonna happen as a byproduct. So we don't need to transfer this specific data change. So I also need to go through custom append list and make sure we're not transferring any of this stuff that happens via append or pop or clear, because that would I mean, it's gonna happen derivatively. As long as we make sure the append or the pop or the clear happens, it's gonna happen derivatively. So I do need to add that to things to do. Actually, that's really important. And we want to do that before we do post DTM game test. So this is going to be called CA Pi derivative circular 5.4, and we're going to put go through Pi, ensuring all data changes made in append pop and clear are not transferred since as long as the data point change of the actual associated append pop or clear are transferred. All of the auxiliary changes are technically derivative, therefore they do not need to be transferred. Very important, actually. But let us not be distracted where we were. So I'm gonna put. So this is like my notepad, you know. Terminal basically becomes my notepad. So we're gonna do prior card name, comments, so I don't forget, and then see methods. Derivative. Okay, so now let's first of all make this a little smaller. Like by little I mean a lot smaller. That's good. Okay, and we don't need this file open. We don't need that file open. We don't need that file open. I don't like having files open that I'm not working in directly. Alright, so we're doing prior card group name. And I'm going to add in the comments where I change the right here. So let me just make sure that this is indeed derivative. So as long as we send over this pop, then they're going to receive it. They're going to call pop. It's going to run. And this prior card group name is going to be assigned as you would expect. So yeah, we wouldn't need to transfer that because then like it already happened on one side and now it just happened on this side. It's derivative, so we don't need to change it. So let's just make sure we add this comment. Comment added 5124. This line, along with pretty much everything else in this file associated with append pop and clear do not need to be transferred as long as the associated method is executed. Transferred. All of these data changes that happen after the method call are derivative. Not technically, they just are derivative. Therefore, do not need to be transferred. And we'll put do not transfer. Well, isn't this derivative though? Isn't visual deck discard hand presort update called after append? Yeah, this is derivative 2, my boy. Oh man. No. Fuck, man. You know what that means? Oh man, that means there's some stuff that we're probably transferring. It doesn't need to be transferred. Yeah. This is damn. Fuck. That means I gotta review. I gotta do a more thorough review of what is derivative and what isn't, and I gotta modify the associated stuff. Damn, bro, I swear, every time I think I'm done. Oh, every time I think I'm done completely with DTM, it's like, wait, no, you're not. Damn. No! No! More work, man! Not more work. I was so ready to be done. Fuck. Alright, whatever. Suck it up, Buttercup, and get it done. Alright. Damn you. Damn you. Alright, so back to where we were. Okay, so we were on prior card group name, yeah. Oh yeah, well that was when we realized, I swear, bro, game dev is really complicated. This is so complicated, man. It just is. There's always ways to simplify it, but it's a difficult thing. Game dev is very hard. Yeah, it's not easy. Okay, so we took care of that, but then we have this one right here. Let's see this. For the case in which resituation is happening and the card is about to be passed to the append function, if prior card group name is not set to none, then it will be recursively called the prior card group name resituation function again. When in fact you should only run that once. This addition is fine, it should not cause any problems, but whenever the cards will be popped from the location, it will be assigned new prior card group names. Okay. So this also needs the same comment. Yeah. Because, let me just verify this. Okay. So, whenever we call append, that, in turn, ends up calling, so let's go to custom append list and verify this. So we go to custom append list. Whenever an append happens, we eventually will call a function which is somewhere in here. Here we go. Right here. This locate.function dictionary, and it's going to it's going to call the associated function. And all of these different functions are for card movement, specifically for the different card groups, because they're all, you know, handled differently as far as how they move and where they need to go and all that, and their orientation, etc., etc. So this is one of those functions. So this entire function is derivative. I should probably put this above each function and say, we're going to put a note, 5124, realize that during tail end of DTM that all of these card movement methods are derivative of append, etc. Therefore, all of the data changes made within these functions do not need to be transferred. FML. Why? Why did I not realize that before? I'm an idiot. Okay, so well, I'm thinking now, you know what I could do? I could create a switch, like I could create a switch, like a data transfer switch, and whenever we're entering into a place that's derivative, we would just turn that switch off and then turn it back on when we're out of that section, and it would just check it would always check for that switch, like for the setters and stuff where we transfer the data automatically when it's changed. We could check for that data transfer switch. Because the alternative to that is going all the way through. Yeah, the alternative of that is going all the way through. Like, okay, well look, I already have some of this done. Okay, so I actually knew this before. Look at this. I knew this as of last year. Alter to include call from dir check is equal to true. This is local derivative. We do not need to transfer this over the network since it derivatively happens on both the server and client side. Okay. So this one just needs the comment. That's all. This do not need to be transferred. And yeah, so this is not going to be transferred because prior card group name is not a calc property. Okay. Alright. So that's done. Alright, so we're in card. So we're going in alphabetical order here. And yeah, so where I started at was transfer to adder, so prior card group name is a transferred adder as well. Okay. Yeah, so ID, rank, suit, that doesn't need to be transferred. Prior X, prior Y. So we did this, we get rid of that. What about change display layer? Okay, so that's changed in the setter. Okay, yeah. What about prior X and prior Y? Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be back.